Hey everybody, it's Dave from Let's Make a Game Together, and holy crap, I am back. Yes, I'm back. So I went to, if anyone's wondering where I have been, I went to China with my wife. Me and my wife try to travel a fair bit and get inspired and see the world, and we make travel vlogs over at Places We Stay, YouTube channel, and placeswestay.com. Check them out if you feel like it. But we just got back from China, and let me tell you this about China. China is one of the most hectic and insane, crazy, but also inspiring and amazing places that I've ever been. No one spoke English in some of the places we went to. We had random people who we've never met before asked to take photos with us or sign to take photos with us because they had never seen a Westerner before, according to our local guide. And it was absolutely breathtaking and amazing. And yeah, you can see some of the photos are just absolutely stunning. And it really rekindled my passion for making games. Like, it just sparked that creative juices inside me. So hopefully we can get stuck right back into it and do some really cool stuff for this project, because that's exactly what I want to do. But first of all, before we get started, I'd love to go over some of the news and kind of just like a bit of an update with what's going on. And the first thing I want to talk about before we get into this, this amazing project, is where we've been in this project. So over on Patreon, I kind of updated the Patreon a little bit. There's a couple more tiers as well if you want to check them out. But I kind of want to break down what we've done. So currently, for the past few months, we've been working on the 2D platformer called Super Platformer Bros. We started by recreating the basic level mechanics of Mario 1-1. In the project, we have currently covered the basics of getting the player to move, simple physics, animations, saving and loading data, basic enemies like Goombas, which I've got to fix, by the way. Thank you to the person who pointed out that they don't work properly. I really appreciate that, because they don't fall down properly. Okay, so, but we'll get around to fixing that. Game design basics, which are just sprinkled throughout all my videos, hopefully. Death, high scores, sprite sheets, and a couple other things that I probably forgot to mention. And that's cool. So that's like, in a nutshell, very much what Mario 1-1 is all about. Obviously, Mario 1-1's got a lot more flair, but in regards to like the basic mechanics, there's not much more than that. And I think that one thing that I want to cover in this video that's not actually in Mario 1-1, but it's pretty much in every like 2D game in existence from then on, is 2D parallax. And if you don't know what 2D parallax is, it's where, say, the character will move at one speed, the foreground will move at another speed, the background will move at a different speed, and so on, giving this like really cool depth effect. Hopefully you know what it means. It's kind of hard to explain with the words, but yeah, it's definitely really awesome, and I really want to do that before we move on to the next part of this series, which is fixing the code. I know I keep saying we're going to do it. Get off my back. I know the code sucks. I know the code doesn't work really well. But you got to remember that if you're a really good programmer, or if you're at least an intermediate programmer, the reason I code things the way I do is for very specific reasons. Reason number one, first and foremost, I'm not a very good programmer, to be honest. Like, I'm okay, but I'm probably better at game design, to be honest. But the code does the job, the one specific job that we get it to do. It might not be perfect, but the second reason, and this is actually probably the main reason, all jokes aside, is because when beginners first start to program, they have no idea. And if that's you, give us a shout out in the YouTube comments to help stick up for me against the people who say that my coding sucks, because it's really hard to understand what's going on with programming. I remember when I first started, I couldn't understand anything, and then when I saw, like, I watched heaps of videos, and then when I saw one person write some code that made a game object just rotate like a coin in Mario, I lost it, because then all of a sudden it clicked, and I realized, holy crap, that's what code does. It does stuff. And I know that sounds stupid, but that's where I started. And for me, when I make these tutorials, I want to just get something up and running as soon as possible, and if it needs to be adjusted better, then we can adjust it better later on. But at the start, there's no harm in just like getting something quick and dirty out, especially for these tutorials, because we're not making a commercial finished game, we're making a prototype, let's face it. And so that's and so obviously we've got some of my past projects here, but some of the things that we want to go on to eventually proceed like, well, I'll just read this out. This is the next step in the development process. We iron out the code. That'd be great. We add some wacky functionality. This part is where your input becomes key in the direction that we take. A few ideas I have are procedural level generation like Spelunky, more advanced enemy AI. Like I'm not talking like Dark Souls. I'm talking like Spelunky again. You know, like a character that will shoot when it's like on the same Y plane as you, or it will jump around or jump towards you and things like that, not just move back and forth, but just a little bit more advanced. Mobile controls, you know, I've had some, I'm talking to someone, one of the patrons in Messenger, just helping them out to get their game with mobile controls, so we can cover that in an upcoming episode. A local multiplayer, we could even do online multiplayer if we get crazy enough, like who knows, if you've got an idea, suggest it. On the page on here, and or on the YouTube comments, and yeah, an online high score system. So these are just some of the things that I think would be really, really cool. And we can do that. We can move on to the advanced. I'm going to call it Super Platformer Bros Advanced, and that's what I'm going to call it at this stage. And the next thing I want to talk about is I've got this video here. I started playing it before. How do you? Game design theory, Zelda, Ocarina of Time. Let's make a game together. So I made this game, promo here. Only probably like not many of you guys have watched it compared to what I get in my other videos. So I wanted to mention it here. It's basically, let me just mute it. It's basically it's basically a promo for a game design series that I want to do. So we talk a lot about game development on the channel. We do a lot of like, this is how you make a game. But what separates a good game from a great game is basically game design. Like you think about the most iconic game of all time, Mario, and it's just about an Italian plumber who jumps on Goombas, you know, and you can take a platformer and you can make it really, really generic, and you just have a platformer. But if you add something special to that, and you can do that through game design, you can do some really cool things. So this is a trailer. Check it out. Go watch it. There's some voiceover and stuff for a game design series that I'm thinking about doing. So if you like that idea, comment in the comments below or on this video, and just give me like show me how much you want it. If no one really interested, I won't bother doing it. But if you guys are really keen, yeah, let's check it out. So that's about it. I think that's it. Oh, the other thing that I want to mention is this. My recent PC was paid for by AdSense revenue from this channel and this Patreon. So I just want to say thank you guys so much. It wasn't completely paid for. It was only 18% of it was paid for. But it meant because of this that I didn't have to wait another month or two to save up. I've been saving for about 6 months for my new PC. And that meant like a lot. It meant that I think I got a photo down here. Built my own PC. It was a really terrifying experience. I never want to do it again. But I actually have a new PC, and it means that these videos are going to be much easier to make and much better quality, and I'll be on a Windows, which will be nice because I'll be able to play some Steam games, maybe do some like Let's Plays and stuff like that in the future as well. But yeah, I just want to say thank you guys so much, because 18% of this PC was paid for by you guys either watching the videos or supporting me directly on Patreon, and I really, 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 really support it. And funny thing right now, the next thing that I want to save up for is a Rode Podcaster mic, and which will be a mic that will make these videos sound a whole lot better. Right now, I'm not sure if you can tell, I'm using my iPhone headphones. I've got, because of my giant beard, you get this noise if I wear it like normal headphones. So I've slung the iPhone microphone part of the headphones over some random cup, and I'm speaking into it all hunched over my computer. That's what I'm doing right now. But as soon as I can afford it, I'm going to get a new microphone, and we're going to kick these episodes up a notch. So if you feel like supporting me, shameless plug, check out my Patreon here. Okay, now let's jump straight into the action, and let's talk about 2D parallax side-scrolling. Okay, so we've basically got no artwork. Well, we have a little bit of this, but we need some artwork to replicate a background. Your game might have artwork, in which you just do the same thing with this. So I'm going to create a new folder because I like to keep organized, saying temp art, because I'm probably going to delete this straight out of the project. Just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to show this. So if I've got two trees here, some clouds, and a background. I'm just going to, I've got these all from Open Game Art, that website I showed you guys a couple episodes back. Let's drag them in. Cool, so there are a couple of ways that you can handle 2D parallaxing. There's many ways actually. I'm going to show you one way first, and then we're going to delete that, and we're going to do it the easy way. And the reason we're going to do it the easy way is because for our project, I think the easy way will actually work the best and the easiest, and make things whole lot easier. But I think it's important to show you guys the other way first, because if you guys decide to make a 2D infinite runner, you guys can see how it would be done. Now, I'm not going to flesh it out completely, but I'm going to show you how it would be done. So a really simple way to do it would be just to go game object, create a new 3D object, create a quad. The quad appears here. Let's just make that a bit bigger. Let's just make it, say, this big. Cool, let's just pretend that's the size of the entire level. Let's just make it go into the background. It's a beautiful, disgusting poo brown color. Or grey. I don't know what's wrong with me, maybe I should go to the doctor. And what you're going to do here is, so we need a material for it. Right now it's just got the default material. We want to take our landscape here, and we want to add this as the material. So we can click on this, and right now we don't have a material, so we need to let's just make this into a material. Let's just create a new material. Let's just call it new material, doesn't matter, we're going to delete it, and click on it, click on this albedo, click landscape, happy days. Now that material texture is assigned, and we just change the shader from standard to, let's say, unlit. So it's just bright, exactly like the picture. And let's just go to our quad, and we can just, don't worry about following along to any of this, by the way, I'm just going to delete it. Just say that again, and then we just want to drag our material onto this. And there you go, you got a background. Press play, and it looks like crap. It stays the same as the character, which is what to be expected. But what we can do is we could, if the player was just, say if this is a spaceship game and the spaceship's continually moving from left to right, and it's continually moving, then what you could do is you'd actually write a script that just created an offset to this. So like, let's just say, for example, let me just make a script, temp script, call it whatever you want. Yeah, we could write something just simple like public float speed. So that's the speed of the scrolling, and we could set that speed to, we could create just a private float. Let's just call it pos. This is just all just nothing. And then we could just seriously say pos plus equals speed. Sorry, get component renderer dot material equals new vector, material dot main texture offset equals new vector 2 pos 0. Cool. So that means that it will move at the same rate as speed, and it's public, so we can change it. Let's just press play, and if we click over to our temp art, click on the material, I think we just need to make wrap mode, we can just make it repeat. Now this will look like crap, please understand that. It won't match. If you're ever doing infinite scrollers, you obviously want the two corners to match. In this simple situation, and we can just press play. Obviously it won't move anywhere. Let me move this, and it moves with the speed. So it's doing like a texture offset. So this obviously doesn't work, and it won't work for your game. It's not even fleshed out, but you get the idea. That's how you could do it. You could make the texture of what mesh just scroll along like that infinitely. So imagine that's like a starry background or something, and hey, that would work. But that's not what we want to do. We're going to do a much simpler way, a way that will serve our game a whole lot better. Let me just get rid of this, and let's get rid of the material, and let's get rid of the quad. And let's get rid of the temp script. Okay, so back to actually doing something productive with our game instead of just mucking around. The best way to do this, in my opinion, is to get the main camera. And right now, if we click into 3D, the 2D button up here, it goes into our 3D view. You can see that you got our level here, and you can see we've got our camera. It starts one size and goes the same size all the way back. You've got no perspective. But we want to change that. So all we need to do is we need to grab the main camera, and we can change it from orthographic to perspective. And watch what happens to the left-hand game screen. Not much, right? But if we move in, you've got depth now. You've got depth now. It might not look like it because nothing is really happening, but let's just bring it right out here. Right now we don't need the end level, so let's just turn that off. We don't need the second ground, and we can get this ground here. Let's just go back into 2D mode. This is driving me insane. Come on. Let's just drag this right out. Cool. And let's just go back to 3D mode, and let's just grab the main camera. Let's just bring the main camera into about there. Let's just press play, see what that looks like. Fantastic. You've even got our little camera system still set up, so we can leave that for now, but you understand why the camera is doing that from one of our first episodes. Okay, cool. So we got this set up now like this. Now it's pretty simple to realize what will create a parallax background, and that is just add the artwork and put it in the background, right? And the stuff in the foreground. So let's just go into 2D mode, to zoom in. By the way, you can just double click on the player and it'll zoom right in, which is great. Now let's just say I want this tree. Oh, it's a bit big. Kidding. Actually, let's just delete this tree. I'm just going to grab this, this, and this. I'm going to say these are 10. Cool. That's it. So we can just make the position. I'm going to make them 10. Let's just get this tree in here as well. 10. And let's just give them a Z value of minus 1. That looks really bad. That's all right. You can see minus 8, 9, cool. And this one like that. And we can get our clouds. Now we could cut them up. Let's not cut them up. You guys, oh, actually let's cut them up. Let's not be lazy. Okay, let's just make this into a multiple. Same deal as before. Sprite editor, apply. Let's just go slice automatic, slice cha-ching. Hopefully that worked well. I have a feeling it didn't. Nope, it didn't, but that's alright. It's gonna look a bit dodgy. That's alright. Okay, so then we can drag, you know, a cloud in here. Told you it was gonna look dodgy. Cloud here, and the cloud here. Now into our 3D perspective. And this is where the fun begins. So now imagine if you had mountains in the background, it would look pretty cool. So you bring this right back, and then we can just make it bigger. 4:4. Cool. And then let's grab this one, bring it back, let's just say to there. Bring it to there. And we got this one here that we can, let's just bring this one actually right back. Let's go crazy with it, just to really demonstrate. No, we want to go like 20. No, we're going to go like 50. No, we don't. Let's go a nice 30. And first cloud, we can just make it a 4 and a 4. Alright, cool. Let's just give this a test, and let's one last thing. You can see it like working a little bit already, you see? And just copying these. Alright. Alright, cool. And you can obviously make these further in or out, things like that. Let's just press play and see how it looks. It's going to look bad, but actually I feel like this needs a full screen. Yay! Now obviously this doesn't look all that great, and you can even see, but you get the idea, right? Some of these, and I'm just going to demonstrate the point. Let's just zoom. Let's just get some of these to working in 3D like this is a bit frustrating, but good to have them just a little bit different. Alright, cool. Now just press play. And you can see how like you can get some cool effects from this stuff. Like you see how that tree is way close to the camera and it just like has that cool effect. See this cloud here has that cool effect. You can even see, so there's two clouds here. This cloud here is a bit closer than this cloud here, a bit further away than this cloud here. So this cloud here actually moves a little bit faster than this one. You can see that? So yeah, so just with layering things with a perspective camera, you can actually get a really cool effect. And obviously this isn't in Mario 1.1, but it's still something that's pretty damn cool. And if you are up to the stage in your game where you're actually adding cool graphics, then this could make your game look a hell of a lot better. And the best, like something that I think is really cool, if you play games like Ori and the Blind Forest, for example, they use this technique heaps where they'll put something in the foreground that's blurry. Now, see, this is actually blurry, but it's only blurry because it's a pixel art that I've blown up. But they put blurry blurry things in the foreground, and as you move past them, they actually start to move, and you realize, oh, that's actually a creature, and that's actually pretty scary. That's a really cool technique they use in Ori and the Blind Forest, and that's something that you guys can use in your game. But yeah, looks pretty cool, doesn't it? And this is just using a perspective camera, and yeah, it just looks awesome, really easy to use, and it'll work for everything that we're doing in this game project so far. So yeah, that is a really simple way to create a parallax side-scrolling style system in the game project that we're using. You just need to layer things, and also we can get into like layering and like having sorting layers and stuff, but in this situation you don't really need them because you're just using the z-axis to add depth. You're basically making a 3D game with 2D assets, which is cool. Nothing changes and everything is fine. And guys, we got through a whole episode without using any code at all. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but hey, that's pretty awesome, I think. So guys, thanks for checking out this episode, and let me know in the comments what you want to see next, and hopefully we can keep making this game better and better and better, and hopefully one day I'm going to have some good art. If you've got some good art that you want me to use, that you're, send them to me, I might use it. But yeah, check us out. So thanks guys, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.